So in this video, I just want to kind of piggyback off of the last video I did when I kind of talked about the signs and symptoms that I had that made me realize that I was dealing with depression and didn't really know at the time. So I kind of talked about being a masker and, on the outer part, in the outer portions of me, family, friends, people that was around me didn't realize or know that I was dealing with depression. So that's not something I have set out to intentionally do. It's just that being a mom of 5 children and a stay-at-home wife, I felt like I just didn't have the time or place to kind of deal with what I was dealing with. So it was just easier to do the things I had to do, take care of the kids. And so that's what I was speaking about masking it. Now today, I'm in a whole nother space, and instead of me masking, I can feel when I'm kind of not feeling like myself. I know the signs very, very well now, because I think even though I have, had many years of dealing with the depression, I now know the signs. I can feel it coming on where I just feel like I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that. So then I just take the steps to do more self-care, doing the things that I need to do. If I need to sit down and journal, or I just need to stop, right? I may have a point where I just have to stop everything. So now I am in a space, in a place now where instead of me masking it, I deal with it head on. I am not tucking it away and just going on. I am addressing it right away. Mainly, one of the things that I do is I journal. So I take the time to write down what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking about, and just taking the necessary steps that I need to do to bring myself peace, because I noticed that since I have been dealing with the mental health and being in therapy, my peace is more important to me than anything else. So it's very, very much important to me to protect my peace no matter what at all times, right? Because I think before I was in a space where any and every little thing would kind of upset me. I was in a space where if somebody was around me and they were upset, then I would allow that to make me upset, and it wouldn't even have nothing to do with me. And I think that's something that people may not even realize about somebody that's dealing with depression or mental health issues, right? You tend to stuff that don't even have nothing to do with you, but it's because it's the person that's next to you or close to you, and you like, oh my God, they upset, and just energy passing. I didn't think that was a thing for a long time, but that now I do realize that is a thing. So I have now mastered, and I ain't gonna even say master, because I have had moments where initially I'll get upset, and then I think about it like, wait a minute, hold up. That's not your burden to bear. You not upset. It's not nothing to do with you. Maybe that person had a bad day, or if they upset about something. So I now just know that protecting my peace is important. I have to do what I have to do to make sure my peace is intact, right? And so I am big on reading self-help books. That's one of the things that also has allowed me to continue to progress in this battle with depression and mental health. I have read books. I know that reading these books and journaling has helped me along the way tremendously, because I'm telling you, before my headspace just was not good. So I really am a strong believer to doing the things that you know works for you, doing the self-care, having a self-care routine, so that when you are feeling yourself maybe sinking down to that space of being severely depressed, you can recognize the signs and do what it takes to not go down that road again. That's what I've done. So like I said, my last therapy session was in June of this year, 2024. And since then, I've had times where I'm like, oh my God, I need to talk to my therapist, and I'm not on the schedule or anything like that. But what I've done is, my thing for my self-care is baths. So I like to get in my tub, light my candles, maybe read a book, or just sit there, play music, and relax, because that has helped me along this journey. And like I said, the self-care books is a thing. So I've even gotten a gratitude book where you, in the morning, it's like different quotes in there asking you, what you're grateful for. And then it's also at night. And then it's space to journal and just write down your thoughts so you can get it out of your head. I do that. I have read, and I'll share this stuff in the description, Humble the Poet. So this book, I'm going to pull this stuff over here. So these are the things that I use. So this is my gratitude journal. It's all the way filled up from front to back, these pages. I believe I might have found this in Five Below or on Amazon. I'm not exactly sure. I'll look, and if I got it off Amazon, I'll link it. So set boundaries and find peace. This was big for me. I also purchased the workbook because these are the things that have helped me along the way, because I also mentioned that I was a people pleaser, so concerned about people pleasing and not really, when you pleasing people, that means you putting yourself on the back burner. I've done that for so long that I'm no longer doing that. I'm making sure I'm good, because as long as I'm good, everything and everybody else around me will be good, right? Now, my number one, right out, because when I was really severely and deeply depressed, I have always been a big reader and I love magazines. That is something that I could not do. I was still getting my subscriptions in the mail for my magazines, but I just could not pick them up and go through them. And I always open my magazines up. That was a part of the depression. The stuff that I used to enjoy doing, I stopped doing all the way. I just didn't have it in me, right? But one of the first books that I completed after a couple years in therapy, which helped me a lot, it was the positive, just all of the things. Humble the Poet, Unlearn. This book really helped me out. It just helped bring me out of darkness. When I'm telling you, I have highlighted, and actually this is book 2, because the first one, I got tabs all through it. But when I moved, I put it in storage. I need to go in storage to get that book because I have so much stuff highlighted and so many tabs. But it was so good that I repurchased it, even though I already have the book. Then, with, I guess, a couple years, because I'm not sure how long Feeding the Soul by Tabitha Brown was out, this was another one. So near and dear to me. These books, between this one and this one, this helped me come out of a dark place. Because when you in that space, I'm telling you right now, it is a place of really working and putting in the work to bring yourself out of it. Therapy was number one, and then the self-help. I also purchased the motivation app on an app store, because you can set it to you just get positive affirmations and all day long, positive motivation. And that's another thing that helped me come out. I have that motivation app. I have it on the family, so everybody in my house has it, the kids and my husband. These are the things and the steps that I had to take to really pull myself out of depression. And I'm saying pull myself out and come through, because I still have my moments now, but I'm just better at handling it than I was before. Because it's important to me to not go back to the space I was in. The space I was in, I didn't feel good. It didn't feel good to me. But the space I'm in now, it feels amazing to me. I absolutely love where I'm at now, because I feel like I handle things differently. I was not able to handle stuff as good as I can now. Like everything, like maybe just the smallest thing, I could not. It would just take me over the edge where I could not function. I'm very emotional, doing a lot of crying, which is fine. It's okay to cry, but it's just like when you know and understand what those tears are and what they, what it represents, and just being able to cry and then move on and move through it. Because I'm telling you, going through it and being able to be in therapy to process with somebody else that's on the other side, that's a professional, just helps give you more of a perspective, and just helps you get through the situation that you're dealing with. And you listen to the specialists, and they like telling you, well, do you realize this or you realize that? Because I think for me, a lot of it, I didn't realize that a lot of my stuff came from trauma, childhood trauma. It started with childhood trauma, different things that made you take into the adulthood because you never dealt with it. You just lived with it all of that time, right? So in therapy, I learned that I had been in survival mode, like for years, in survivor's mode for so long, and didn't even know that that's what I was doing. I started working at 14. I moved out my mom's house at 18 and been out the house ever since. And now I'm in my 40s, mid 40s. And so that is a lot. So you imagine carrying that around, being in survivor's mode with everything, and then having trust issues. It's crazy. Like, your mind is going a mile a minute. I am an overthinker. All of that comes with it. It comes with the territory of, the childhood traumas, because I have plenty of childhood traumas. One more specifically that I'll share is, at a young age, I believe I was about 4 or 5, and I locked myself in the bathroom, and I had a full-on panic attack when they got me out of the bathroom. I was full of sweat, and I just dropped into my older sister's arms. That happened to me again when I was probably about 8. I locked myself in the room, and I climbed out on the roof and was ready to jump because I was like 7 or 8 years old. I didn't care. I was like, if I jump, at least I'm out of this room being locked in. Then my auntie came and pushed the door and got me out just in time before I jumped. And then it happened to me again as a teenager. I locked myself. Where was I? I got locked in the room, I think. So that I carried into adulthood, to where I never closed the doors. I didn't close the bathroom door. I would just push it up and not close it. I would not close bedroom doors. I do not like closed doors. So imagine now I have kids, and as they've grown older, they close their bedroom doors. Of course, they need their privacy, bathroom doors. And for a long time, it set me into full panic mode. Every single time they would go in the bathroom and close the door, I would be like pacing, like, oh my God, to make sure that they came out. So all of this stuff, all of these childhood traumas that you don't deal with as a child or into adulthood, you just take it into a full-blown adult and you kind of dealing with it. But now, because I've worked on it and been in therapy, I handle a lot of that different. I don't feel the same way about when my kids' bedrooms doors are closed. I don't feel panic and anxiety when they are in the bathroom with the door closed. I'm fully okay now with the doors being closed, because I know in my mind now, I understand that they closing the door, they're going to come back out. Because a lot of times it's stuff that we have anxiety over, that it's just your mind. You in your mind thinking these things that it's really maybe not even going to happen, right? But you put it in your head to where all these things like fight or flight mode, right? I dealt with that really long, and for a very long time, like I struggled with different things. Like, it was during these times of me being in therapy over these years. At one point, my husband was going out the house and he was working at night. And let me tell you something, that my anxiety was through the roof with that. I could hear something and then I would not sleep all night long. If I heard something, because he was working at night, overnight, and I was home with the kids, so of course it was my job to protect them. And so that was a struggle in itself, because I could hear something like a loud noise, I don't know, outside or anything like that, and then I would stay up all night long. I would not sleep until once he walked in the door, 6 o'clock in the morning, then I would sleep. So these different things, my anxiety and panic would just like have me in a chokehold, to be honest, in a complete chokehold. But now, because of the work that I've put in, I now understand, and I have the tips and techniques to help me get through this. One of my biggest ones to get through the anxiety and panic is to talk myself through it. So I'd be like, okay, you all right. It's nothing wrong. I take deep breaths, a lot of breathing, deep breaths, and talking myself through it. I think those are the two techniques that have really helped me to ground myself when I'm in a full-blown, maybe on the verge of getting an anxiety or panic attack. And so I just feel like it's important. This is stuff that we probably need to be talking more about, because it's not talked about enough, I feel like. And I know it's been a big effort within the last few years talking about mental health and talking about depression and anxiety, but I think we still need to talk about it more, because people don't realize that when you in panic or anxiety, it's hard to just snap out of it. You don't just snap out like that. Like, I have had moments of being highly nervous and, you know, just being in anxiety at that moment and not even realizing I'm in it, but you really full blown in it, and until you come through it, you really, it's a lot. But, you know, knowing the tips and knowing the things that you can do to help yourself get through it is a plus. So I have definitely enjoyed being in therapy to help me get to where I'm at today, because I'm nowhere near where I was back in late 2018, 2019. It took a good while for me to get to this space that I am in now. But this space that I am in now, it feels so good and amazing to me, because I really don't know. I could just imagine what it looked like to my family, to my kids, when I was in a place of being highly depressed. Like, what did that look like to them? And now they, I'm sure, can see a different side of mommy, because I wasn't where I am now. I wasn't in this space, this headspace that I'm in now. And we all know, because we've seen some of the celebrities and some of the things happen where a person look like they are absolutely fine. The first one to come to my mind is Twitch, that was on the Ellen show. He looked it good. We always seen him energetic, dancing every single day when the episode would play. And then all of a sudden, right, the most saddest thing ever, I didn't know him, of course, on a personal level, but it is, mental health looks like that, right? Like I said before, you can mask it and nobody will know if you don't tell them. You look like everything is going good, life is going good, everything's going well, but it's important to identify it, recognize it, get the help, talk to somebody, write it down, journal, just know the signs, and know that you are valued, you are worth it, you deserve nothing but the best, and it's important for you to take the necessary steps to get the help. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and let's talk more about this in the comments. I will be linking all of the books that I spoke about. I will link them in the description, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Thanks.